Hi guys, and welcome back to my channel. It's good to see you. If you are new here, hello and welcome. My name is Natalia. It's nice to meet you. So today's video is just going to be an eye makeup video. I'm doing an eyeshadow look, so that is what we're focusing on today. Okay, so we're going to get started. We're going to start by doing the eyebrows, of course, and we're going to go in with my e.l.f. pencil and then my eyebrow tint mascara. First of all, I'm going to just start by brushing them out with my little spoolie brush on the end. Then I am going to take the pencil end and I'm just going to draw and line the eyebrow just to give it like a proper shape. And then I do fill in the arch of my eyebrow as well. Then I go in and do the other eye. It doesn't matter if it's not quite perfect, if it's quite messy, because we are just going to carve them out afterwards as well. And I could brush that in with my spoolie brush just to give it more of a blend so it's not as much of a harsh line. Once my eyebrows are all blended out, I then go in with my eyebrow mascara and just pop that on. I'm flicking the first few front hairs upwards to give it that fluffy look, and then the rest of my eyebrow I kind of slick back. I'm not fully with the soap brow thing yet. She does just the front part and I feel like that's enough. So once I have done that, I am then going to go with my little flat brush and carve out those eyebrows. So I am just taking the concealer in my Revolution eyebrow palette and take that on my flat brush, and then I am just going to carve underneath my brows. I don't tend to carve the top part much anymore just because I've got those hairs sticking up and I don't want to get any concealer on them. And then I just drag that down and blend it out a little bit. Once I'm happy with that, I am then going to go in with my bases. I'm very excited. I bought 2 new bases the other day. One is Rumor 2 and I can't remember what the lilac-y one's called. Today I am going to do my base with Rumor 2. I'll definitely be using my lilac one in a video soon though, because it looks gorgeous. And then I am just going to take my brush by P. Louise as well, which is perfect for doing cut creases. It's the perfect brush for it. Just blend that into the carving that we do with my eyebrow. You'll notice this blends so much better as the colour is a lot closer to my concealer shade. And I am just adding as much as I think I will need just to get a nice full coverage on my lid, and then I'm just smoothing that over, making sure that's nice and blended into the cut crease, and also just blends out nicely and has an even amount of product all over the lid. So once I've got that all over the lid, I then like to just smooth it out and pat it in, and it looks really flawless. And then of course I'm going to go ahead and do the other eye. So this is what it looks like all blended out. I think it's a much better colour match for me. I think it looks so nice and it blends into my concealer for my carved eyebrows perfectly. So I did actually pick up a few things, and one of them was a bunch of eyelashes, and I got these on Depop. I think it was about £10 and there's so many pairs in there. I thought it was such a good deal and I thought I'd show you guys. I'm not sure which ones I'm going to use today, but they're so fluffy. So for today's eyeshadow look, I am going to be using the Morphe X James Charles palette. I was lucky enough to be given this for my birthday as a birthday gift, and it is one of the prettiest palettes. Like, oh my gosh, if you love colourful stuff, then I definitely get it. So today I think I'm going to be using the blue shades and the green shades as well. So first of all, I am going to be taking one of my darker blue shades. Now I was stuck on which one to use between the two, but I ended up going for the brighter blue. As we know, I love my bright colours. So I'm just going to take this and I am going to be doing a cut crease. So I am just taking this angled brush. I think it's quite a fine brush, so it's going to give me nice sharp lines. And I'm just going to go in and start drawing the cut crease shape. Now it's not going to matter too much if you do it a bit too thick, or it's not exactly how you want, because remember, you are going to be carving it out with some concealer or your base. For now, it just matters that you get lots of your shadow and you pack it on into the kind of shape that you want. So that's all I've done. The thing is for me is always getting them to match, which is the hardest part. So don't worry if you can't get them exactly the same straight away. Like, this takes practice. Sometimes I have to redo mine because they sometimes are long lost sisters. They're very far from twins. So you could just do a sort of wing shape, so do like a triangle at the end. I am kind of flaring mine out today, that's what I was feeling, which I never normally do. Like, this is quite different for me, but today was an experimental day, so why not? So I do just check them over to see if they look like they're a similar shape or as close as I can get them, and then I do kind of go in with extra shadow and add more to either thicken them up or change the shape a little bit. So don't rush this part, this is the part that takes time. So we've got our lovely shape on our eyes. Now we do need to blend a little bit, so I am just taking my fluffy spectrum brush and I'm going to buff that in. I can't read the number that says, I won't lie. So I'm just going to go in and try and buff it upwards, because obviously you're going to be carving out the lid anyway, you don't want to get more shadow on it. So buff upwards and follow the line along. That's what I like to do anyway. And start to smoke out that line. And then I do go in with circular motions as well, as I feel like this blends it that bit better. But as you can see, this eye is starting to look a lot more diffused, and it's not just a line, it's looking a lot smokier on top, which is kind of what we want. We want the top part smoked out, because then underneath is going to be nice and sharp. I'm just looking at it to see if it's the same shape, and I didn't think it was, so I wanted to add in a bit more shadow. See, this is what you guys don't see, is I will literally sit there for ages and be like, is this the same shape, is it not? Because my eyes be different. And then I'm just taking that spectrum brush, blending it all out in nice circular motions, really buffing that out, taking that nice and high as well. You can't take it too high, you can't go wrong with that, because you're just going to get it as diffused as possible, which is perfect. So I do kind of go up a little bit and just try and really buff it out, even the edges of what I have already buffed out, just so it all blends nicely. Then I am going to take this darker blue on this fluffy brush and then just go in. So I'm just going to take this blue on a fluffy brush, a different fluffy brush. I changed my mind in the end. And I'm just going to tap off a bit of excess product because you don't want too much, and just blend that right above where that initial line is. So right where all of our diffused product is, we're going to blend that. And see, it just adds a little bit of dimension, because you don't just want one colour. So always make sure you tap off your excess product, because you don't want to get loads of colour on. This is just more of a blend, so you don't really need a lot there. And blend it in circular motions up into the eyebrow bone. So then I am just going back in with my angled brush and I'm putting on more colour onto that initial line that we carved out, because you want that bit to be the darkest point and have the most colour. So I'm just going over that initial line on both eyes. So I am just packing on even more colour, as you know, blending it out we did lose a bit, so I'm just piling on even more colour over that original shape, just to deepen it up a little bit. Then I am going to go back in with that fluffy brush and just buff in circular motions, and also sweeping it backwards and forwards exactly over that line, just to diffuse those edges, because I do want it to be very vibrant, but you don't want too much of a harsh line going on. So then I am just taking a smaller angled brush and I am going to take a darker blue from the palette. It's just underneath the one I used before. Now I'm using a smaller brush as it's going to create a thinner line, and it's just going to deepen up that cut crease a little bit more, because the deeper it is in colour, the more effective it looks. So I am just following that line I originally made and just tracing along it. It hasn't got to be too perfect. Then you guessed it, I am taking that fluffy brush, going back in and just in circular motions and back and forth sweeps, I am blending that out a little bit, because you do need to have it diffused even if it's a little bit. We do want a lot of colour there, but the main thing about this look is you need all your eyeshadow blended together. Now it's important you just take a little bit more time, because the more you blend, the better it's going to look. I did decide to go in and just add a little bit more colour, as you do when you're blending it out, lose a bit, and I want it to be nice and vibrant and dark, so I am just packing a bit more colour on just to deepen it up a little bit. I'm going in with that lighter blue from before and going just above the really dark line I did, and taking my fluffy brush and blending it, because I thought it was just a little bit too light. I wanted it a bit darker. And then for one final time, I am just taking that darker shadow and just going over that line, as I do really like my makeup to be really strong in colour, as I've said before. You don't have to do it as much as this, it's completely up to you, but I just thought it's going to really make all the difference the darker you've got the main line before you've cut the crease. It'll look so much sharper. So now to carve it out, I am taking my micellar water and some cotton buds, and this is what we are going to cut the crease with. So I've poured it onto the cotton bud, and I am just going in and starting to wipe off that excess product that is on the lid. And what you want to do with the very tip of the cotton bud is sort of follow along your line you made and just make it a really crisp line. Take your time with this bit, this is quite precise. See how much neater that looks already compared to the other eye. And plus, when you put down the new eyeshadow base or concealer, whatever you use, you're not going to have the mixture of blue in there. It just makes it look so much more crisp. So you want to go in and just follow your line and slowly wipe bit by bit, following that line round, making a nice crisp cut crease, because this is what I'm going to follow when I put on the new eyeshadow base, and it just looks so much better when you do it like this. I do take my time and go in as much as I need to, and just make sure I feel like the lines are as identical, even, and as crisp as I'd like them to be before continuing with concealer. So like I said, the next step is concealer. I am taking this P. Louise carving brush. I'm very excited, it's new, I've heard really great things about it, and I'm taking my P. Louise base and I'm going to do the carving out. Now this is the difficult part. You've already got that line down that you can trace with the concealer. It's all about precision and just having a steady hand, so really take your time. I'm just going in, patting the product a little bit on the eye first and focusing it more towards the bottom of the eye, and then I can take the very tip of the brush and just do tiny little strokes and just slowly start to create that line of cut crease. Now, like I said, take your time with this bit, you'll need to, just to make it a nice, clean, sharp line. So now both of my eyes are all done and carved out. I'm ready to do the next bit. So I am going in with this greeny shade. I'm going to go in with the green next. I decided on this one in the end, and I'm going to go in and do like a lower wing sort of thing. So I am just taking a small fluffy brush to pack on that colour, and I'm just starting from the outer corner, sort of following along that line to create a sort of wing. I'm not doing it all the way up to the cut crease because I do kind of want a separation between the two. But I'm just packing on that colour, sort of following the liner above it to create that sort of winged shape and winging it out. I'm sticking to the outer half of the eye just because I don't want it all to be green. As I did say, I wanted to bring that yellow into play. Don't know, I do have 2 dogs. One of them, Scrappy, it was in the room while I was trying to film and he kept barking. So I thought he wanted a little bit of attention and some camera time. So this is my dog, in case you haven't seen them before. He's Scrappy, he's a little Yorkshire Terrier. He's very cute and he loves cuddles. But he just thought he'd come and say hi before the rest of the video. So now I've got that green on, I am going to go in with my lime green. So I'm taking it on this little brush, just like I'm really packing the colour, and I'm just taking that limey shade and sort of going in where the green is and just drawing it along towards the inner corner, sort of creating an eyeliner, like a green eyeliner look. I'm just patting that on, smoothing it out because I want the two to blend nicely. I am then going back in it with that small fluffy brush with my dark green on, just to really blend the 2 shades together and also to just deepen up that outer corner colour. Then I am going to take this vibrant yellow that looks absolutely gorgeous, and I'm going to take it on the same brush that I took my lime green on. I'm just wiping it off my hand and then popping that on the inner corner and blending that into the lime green to give it sort of a gradient effect. It's so bright and gorgeous, I love it. So as you can see, I've sort of created a gradient line look, going from yellow to light green to dark green. I absolutely love it. I haven't done anything like this before and I really like how it came out. And I have just left a bit of a gap in between as well to see if I could do like a sort of double cut crease. I think this is a double cut crease. And I'm going with a bit more of that lime green to just blend it into the yellow, just to really blend it all together, make it look really smooth. Now I am going in it with the micellar water and some cotton buds, and I am going to clean up now. So I'm just putting a bit of micellar water on the cotton bud, and then I'm going to go underneath the shadow and just clean up that line and make it a really sharp liner. This is way easier to do than concealer, especially if you've got dark colours as well. And just take your time like you did before with the cut crease and just really make a nice sharp line. And then of course go and do the same with the other eye. I check them quite a lot to make sure they look the same, especially when it comes to liner, because that makes all the difference in your eye shape. Out. And now I am going to take this frosty shimmer blue shade, and I decided I wanted to put that on the sort of middle liner section because I didn't want to leave it blank. And I'm just going to create like a frosty blue liner in between the green and the blue. You could leave it blank, some people do. I don't know why, I'm just not a fan of that look, but that's just me. So I'm just getting a small brush and just really packing on lots of that frosty blue shade along the line. And this bit doesn't need cleaning up because it's already a pretty sharp line anyway from where you did your cut crease. I am going to go in with that fluffy brush one final time and just really blend out that top section just to make sure it looks nice and diffused. I'm a bit of a perfectionist. Once I'm happy with that, I'm going to take that small brush that we did use to do that frosty shade, and I am going to go back in with that frosted shade and go under the brow bone as well, just give it a bit of a highlight. Not too much, just a smidge. Then I did just go and do my base and put some lashes on as well. I did do a little bit of bottom shadow, this is optional, and some black eyeliner in my waterline, but this is how it looked. I used one of those pairs from the eyelash thing I bought, and this is how it looks, and I really like how it looks. It's so vibrant and fun. Yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this one. This was a little bit more of a complicated video, and it was definitely fun for me to film, so I hope you guys enjoyed watching it. But yeah, that is the end, and this is the final product. I hope you enjoyed watching it. Please give a like, and if you haven't already, subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.